What's it called?
It's not mint.
But it's a cheese.
Yeah, but we're right now.
And she says, you know, she says, if anybody wants to
This is Sharon's house in the Arab Quarter. Just to make a point that Jews can live in the Arab Quarter. We bought this house.
Majority, more than 50% of Jews live in Jews. And they lived all the way from the Jewish quarter all the way to Damascus Gate. So if this building over there with an Israeli flag on it, which was a Jewish building, which nobody even inhabited after 1948, but they saved it for the Jews to come back in '67. And that building there, which he bought, there was a tradition of Jews living all over the old city. So we're right in the middle of the Muslim quarter. We're in the middle of the Muslim quarter, but there are plenty of Jewish houses here. That's the point. By the way, and right at this corner, we come onto the Via Dolorosa, the Way of the Cross, which we started to talk about then. We're going to be on it for a little bit, and then it's going to turn, and we're going to keep going straight.
When you say plenty, do you mean a dozen or hundreds?
Of what?
Houses, Jewish
Dozens.
houses.
Dozens.
Do they have any problems here?
Sure, they have problems here. Yeah. On the south wall of the temple. Here's the southwest corner. There's Robinson's Arch. We see it very well from here, don't we? It was buried. Remember the picture I showed you? It was buried up to there. Yeah. Anybody need to see that picture again? It was buried. Look at the picture. What happened then is that we started to dig it after 1967 when we first came here. The Arabs were furious. The Arabs were furious, and they accused us in the United Nations of breaking the sanctity of Jerusalem and destroying Jerusalem by all of this stuff. But the first thing we found were these palaces on one of the walls Brian is standing. These palaces here, which turned out to be Arab palaces of Jerusalem of the 7th century, which turned out to be beautiful buildings made by the same people as made the Golden Dome, who wanted to make Jerusalem beautiful and built their palaces here. And here's a picture of them. Who wanted to make their palaces here.
Yeah.
That's what you're sitting on.
I have two.
Yeah, well, they stopped complaining all of a sudden because they discovered beautiful Umayyad building. What we now discover is that here's one building, and there's another, and there's a third. It's reuse of old Herodian stones. Hello. There, see, this is all Herodian masonry that fell off the temple, but it's all in secondary usage.
So Walter, that was double the height. I mean, there were pillars up there. There were pilasters.
No, we haven't got there yet. But that's true. But I mean, if this is here, double or almost, and this is out there.
And we are standing right now on this stairway going down.
And there's a picture here of these villas we were in yesterday. This big house we were in yesterday.
Right at the edge of this.
I'm looking for the big picture, which I can't find.
Now as you go up, what it looks like today.
So I'll show it to you. Boys, they ask you to be careful here. Marshall asked you to be careful. So you're not to throw Marshall down the hole, thank you very much.
Yes.
Even though you want to see if he bounces. No. Whatever you're doing, don't.
I forgot who Robinson was.
Whatever you're thinking of doing, forget
No,
it.
and British archaeologist. He was a British archaeologist.
When?
1858.
Robinson was American in the 1830s.
I thought he was British background.
Wilson was British.
Because when I edit these, I'll put them on the same
It's not Woodrow Wilson. He was American.
All right, guys, onwards. Look, guys.
Why are there holes in the rock right there?
All right, guys. Now,
That's why they call this Swiss Valley.
Guys, there's a legend about this. That's a legend.
And this
the answer is, I don't know. What I do know is look at the size of this rock.
That is huge.
Look where it goes. Who wants to get to the end? Marshall, over to the end of the stone.
That's the 200-ton
Here.
rock.
Fast, run.
Look at how thick
Can
it
you run
is.
fast?
Right there at the end of the rock. All the way to the end.
Look how thick this is. You know how much this weighs?
Tons and tons and
Take
tons.
a guess how much it weighs.
Go.
50 tons.
All the way to
Times
the end. Stop. Stop. To the end of this stone.
Stay there.
Put your hand on the end of the stone. Look at this, guys.
And don't move.
Troops, look.
One stone.
One stone.
There's one stone.
Sure.
The largest stone in the pyramids is 15 tons. The largest stone in Stonehenge in England is 40 tons. This is 80.
Oh my gosh.
And the largest one in the wall is 435 tons.
Where is it?
In the tunnel.
we go?
We can't go. It's hard to get in. They've closed it, and it's a nuisance. Well, say it again? No, we can do this. We have to sign up. We can sign up 2 weeks in advance. Next year we make it happen. I have to do it with a group. I never managed with a group yet. It's too much to do. You got to weeks in advance. You got to book it.
Is it Arabic?
Hebrew. Guys,
Marshall, read it.
Fish.
Marshall, do you read any Hebrew?
Yeah, you can read some Hebrew.
Uritem
Ritem.
v'sas
Sas.
libachem
Libachem.
ve'atzmotam atzmotam kadesh.
Deshe.
So, what does
And
it
you
mean?
shall see. Uritem. It's a verse from Isaiah. V'sas libchem, and your heart shall rejoice. V'atzmotam, that's a mistake. It should be atzmotechem. And your bones, like the grass, shall sprout. And you shall see, and your heart shall be glad, and your bones shall sprout like the grass. That's a verse from Isaiah. A Jew wrote that because only Jews wrote Hebrew. He wrote it sometime before these palaces were built, because it doesn't seem likely that anybody would have written this stuff while they're building big palaces right next door. So it's probably Byzantine, and it's the oldest recollection we have that anybody ever came here. Any Jew ever came here to the wall. And what is important is that he was happy to be here. And you shall see, and your heart shall rejoice. Therefore, the whole business of Wailing Wall is not in the Hebrew. The Jews don't say Wailing Wall. The Jews say the Western Wall. It was the Muslim historian who said there's a place where the Jews wail. And so the Muslims and the Christians call it the Wailing Wall, but not the Jews.
How come there's a ridge along this?
This whole thing became a Byzantine bathhouse down there. They were putting pipes of water right through here to a bathhouse down below, and right through there to a bathhouse down here. And they just had to set a water pipe in the wall, so they did all this work. We're right under Robinson's Arch. You see it? Now, when you climb up the steps, zig, deep, joop, joop, joop. That's a pilaster. Where's that big thing? Did I leave it there? That big chart?
No, somebody's carrying it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, see the pilasters are up on the walls. And there's a piece of them. And there's a piece of them. And here's the bottom of a pilaster. You know what you learn from this piece? That the bottom of the pilaster comes down in a 45-degree slope rather than just being a flat shelf. Because here it is.
Pilaster.
A pilaster is a fake pillar. An engaged column. A thing that's stuck up against the wall. And here's the pier. Here's the pier of Robinson's Arch.
So there were stores in the arch. This is still Robinson's Arch coming over into the street. And in the base of it there were stores.
But here when they went to look for Robinson's Arch, they found the pier. They knew they'd find it. All you got to do is follow the circle of the arch. You know where it's going to be. But then they went to look for the second pier if it had been a bridge. And all they found was this bedrock over there. So they realized that once they were finding bedrock, they couldn't very well, there wasn't any remains of the bridge. So it can't have been a bridge.
Right.
So then they went to look south and they said they found the stand.
How did they do all this?
Oh, this is in the late 60s or all the way through the 70s. From 69, 70, right through the 70s essentially until the early 80s, I suppose. It's getting cold.
You gonna fall?
See, this is
fall,
the
Mark.
street.
Fall
Now,
for it.
he didn't build the temple. This is the street of the time of Jesus. This is the street of Jerusalem in the 1st century AD. This is it. The Roman legion stones fall on the street. They don't fall below the street. So that's the living level. The wall goes down to the street. You can now measure. You can measure where the street level is. It's about...
Oh, look at that. Look at that hole going through. What was that?
I'd tell you it's a tunnel.
But what for?
Or
For the subway or something?
Look, I'll show you how you figure out where bedrock is. Come on, I'll show you.
not to mention
Nice to see you again. I am Sony, Mr. Sony.